Robert is one of our bureau chiefs in Bakersfield, California. Brandon is in Ridgeland, South Carolina. And Anne-Marie listens in Lovettsville, Virginia. So thanks one and all. 5:10 this afternoon, by the way, is going to be the last chance, last one, for you to get yourself to Los Angeles. So there is one trip remaining for this year's Alter Ego Festival, which is 1 week from tomorrow at the Forum in L.A. We do these every year. And 5:10 is going to be the last keyword for you to win. Because come Monday, we start handing money out again. It's another round of Go Fund Yourself that will begin Monday and I think run through the end of February. So that'll kick off a whole bunch of people getting some money. But if you're like, Alan, I don't need money. What I need is to get out of town for a couple of days and go to Los Angeles and see Coldplay or 21 Pilots or Kings of Leon or Imagine Dragons, God forbid. They're going to be there too. All Time Low. What's that big All Time Low song? It's
I'm so low because it's the lowest I've ever been.
Count me in, Katie. I'm going in, or what is it?
What? Dear Maria?
Is it Dear Maria? Yeah. Count Me In, Katie would have been a better name for that song. But.
I got your picture. I'm coming with you, dear Maria. Count me in.
That's the kind of stuff that when it's on the radio, that's the kind of stuff my daughter is gravitating to right now. And that's all
punk?
I need to know about that style of music, yes, is that it's huge with kindergartners.
I like their song Weightless a lot.
Waitlist?
Yeah. It's about a restaurant.
I couldn't get in. I got FOMO. I couldn't find the door. There was no sign. I'm on the wait list. Weightless.
Weightless.
As though you were out in space. Yeah. Or you were, or you had no bodily form. You were just a vapor.
Yeah.
A mist.
Yeah.
I mean, even that would have some weight to it, but.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, or short story long, as it were, 5:10. Last keyword for you to get out to Los Angeles. Cavaliers tonight are on the West Coast. They're already out there. They're waiting for you, although they're in Portland. They'll play the Trailblazers tonight at 10 o'clock. So 9:30 here on MMS is when your pregame coverage will begin. Got a text from Chuck. He said, happy Pass Gas Day. I don't know if you're paying close enough attention to it. Yesterday was National Bean Day. So today, naturally,
but what kind? Not all beans
is
cause
National
gas.
Pass Gas Day.
Just like pinto and black beans cause gas.
I think that all...
Lima.
I think...
Green beans don't cause gas.
I think that any food, depending on the person, could potentially cause gas, right? Every person is different. Probably not every bean.
Legume.
Cabbage.
Cabbage or bean?
No, just foods.
Oh, items that cause
Broccoli,
gas.
Yep. Cauliflower,
Brussels
eggs.
sprouts.
I made egg salad last night.
Was it delicious?
Well, here's what happened is I went home, and because I get home a little bit later, my wife and my child have already eaten, so I'm kind of like, okay. And Gwen goes, well, there's some hard-boiled eggs that are in there that are ready to get thrown out. And I said, I'll make them into egg salad. Because she's like, well, they're past the sell-by date. And I go, well, fortunately, we don't have to sell them.
Correct.
We just have to eat them, right? So I make some egg salad. And a lot of times when I used to make a lot of egg salad, but I haven't made it in a long time. And I got really lucky last night because normally I have to really there's a lot of tweaking going on. But last night I had the eggs in the bowl, all chopped up. I went plop, 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 plop. Nailed the ratio.
Good.
And had a couple and I was thinking of you guys as I was eating my 2 sandwiches.
Good job.
Because it's a lot of bread.
That is a lot of bread.
That's so much bread.
Yeah.
Too much bread.
Yeah.
Just throw it away.
Yeah. And it was a heavy grain bread, too.
Ooh.
So that's a lot of bread for 2 egg salad sandwiches.
Proud of you, Alan.
But worth it, though, right?
So good.
Very good.
But I
Instant gratification.
I played myself, though, because I was preparing for National Pass Gas Day.
No gas.
Didn't do anything to me. Nope. So, but it was good.
Are you upset about that?
Am I upset?
That you're not
I
farting?
mean, my stomach has been kind of making noises all day, but,
Just figuring it out.
Yeah, it's a real figure 'em out when it comes to my egg salad sandwiches.
I've got some chicken in the crock pot for when I get home. Chicken and salsa and peppers and rice.
All in the crock pot.
All in the crock pot.
You want hot salsa.
That's essentially what it is. But it's just basically all the fillings for taco, and then I just put it on I'll shred the chicken when I get home with 2 forks.
But you don't want to put the salsa on the hot stuff when the salsa's cool?
The salsa is what cooks everything, like that, so you don't have to add water or anything. So you put a jar of salt. It's super easy, and it tastes really good. But that's what's cooking up for me to have for this weekend. I've got some lettuce and some tortillas, and we're going to have little burrito wrap-ups.
All right.
Burritos.
There you go.
Huh?
Burritos.
Or just burritos.
Burrito wrap-ups.
Burrito wrap-ups. Guys, what I do is I make a burrito, then I wrap those burritos up, but then I put a spinach wrap around that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine that. You have like 3 burritos and then you wrap that into one big burrito.
Oh, yeah.
Yuck.
Major burrito.
So it would be like 3 different burritos, like 3 different fillings?
Oh, like chicken, steak, and tofu?
Sure.
Tofu.
I don't know. I couldn't think of a third
Think
meat.
of pork?
Mostly ham. Couldn't even think of pork. I'm not firing on all cylinders today, guys.
She had to get up at 8:40 today.
No.
Chicken, pork, and beef.
Chicken, pork, and beef.
No, you slept in today, right?
Yes. I laid in the bed with the cat and watched the snowfall.
Until when?
Slowly pet her. I was awake at like 9:45, but I didn't get out of the bed until like 10:30.
Because then she had to do the salsa chicken.
And then I had to make the salsa chicken, and then I had to have breakfast. And I had to go get vitamins and cat litter.
So why aren't you firing on all cylinders?
You know.
This is what I told you yesterday. You're getting up too late. You're
I
not
am.
giving yourself enough time
It's
in between when
100%
you
what
get
it
up.
is.
Of course it is.
Because I feel all jumbled all the time, where I don't have any time, and then I get aggravated, where I'm like, I just don't have time to do all the things I need to do.
This is what we said like 2 days ago.
10:30.
Literally yesterday we said
No, I
this.
know.
Yeah.
I know. I understand. I get it.
Why is everybody always pretending that I'm not always right, Bill?
You're not always
Why are
right.
people, why are they, I know it's a country full of people who love lying to themselves and pretending things that aren't true. But why is anyone pretending that I don't know what I'm talking about all the time?
Not all
Because
the
there's
time.
no
All the
instant
time.
gratification in that
Yeah.
for anybody but you.
All the time. Anyway, today is National Pass Gas Day, so however...
Should we all fart in the studio today?
I don't have one in the chamber.
If I
I'll
can
go
get
eat-
one, I'll
yeah.
get one. But
I'll
I
go
just-
eat a Rice
I-
Krispie
I
treat.
got nothing.
A Rice Krispie treat will make you fart?
Yeah, that's a farty food for me. They're pretty.
Why,
milk
the sugar?
heavy.
They're milky, yeah.
Oh, milky.
Yeah. Or I
Oh.
could eat a lot of really delicious things that I can't normally eat, and I'll stink this place right up for you.
I mean, I
Well,
believe
appreciate
you.
the offer.
Yeah,
But I,
believe
think
you.
we'll pass on the gas.
Oh, go on.
You know, by the way, one of the most famous scenes in the movie Blazing Saddles is the guys sitting around the campfire farting because they're eating beans, right? But there's another great Easter egg in that movie, if you know French, is that Mel Brooks in Blazing Saddles plays a character named Governor Lepétomane. And Lepétomane is French for... It's not direct. Basically means a person who farts a lot. So you know, Blazing Saddles was replete with fart humor, and it might bear a repeated watching tonight. Don't tell me, Alan. I've never seen Blazing Saddles. Yes, of course you've seen Blazing Saddles. I don't want to hear from anybody who's never seen that movie.
It's so good.
It's the best.
It's so good. It's a brilliant movie, and it holds up.
Out of all the movies that they're like, we're going to remake this movie, no one has ever said,
can't.
we're going
They
to
can't.
remake
Absolutely
Blazing
not.
Saddles.
There's no way.
They could cut a lot out of it and try to remake it, but it still wouldn't be
It's
as
just
funny.
not going to hit it the same.
Right.
And just the actors that they have, they're all perfect for it. So you
And
just,
dead.
Yeah, and dead. Yeah.
Boy, Mel Brooks, I think, might be like the only one
He's
left
104?
from.
How old is that
No,
man?
he's 90-something. He's
Jeez.
90, yeah. Madeline Kahn's dead. Harvey Korman's dead. Cleavon Little's dead. Gene Wilder's dead. Everybody in that movie's dead except Mel Brooks.
And he wrote it.
Yeah. Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles came out in the same year.
Young Frankenstein
They
is
both
so
came out in
good.
1974.
I prefer Young Frankenstein over Blazing Saddles, but I think it's just
They're
They're
very
so
completely
different.
different
They're
movies.
so different,
and
yeah.
like that's the crazy thing, because Young Frankenstein is such a hilarious parody.
Yeah.
But it's not the over the top humor, and like there's a lot more like you said,
There's
the fart
slapstick, yeah.
there's a lot more farts and stuff like that in Blazing Saddles. But to be made by the same guy in the same year and have such wildly different humor just goes to show the genius of Mel Brooks and how he pretty much used it up in those two films.
He did everything he could do with those two movies.
I'll tell you what, people like to talk about what a genius Mel Brooks is, and I don't know that anybody would just objectively disagree. But he peaked 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. Still funny, still does things. Like if you've read his book, it's
like Spaceballs
dynamite.
Is a funny movie, but it is nowhere near what he did with those two movies.
Right.
And History of the World, in my opinion, sucks.
I like History of the World because it's so broad and slapsticky that, I mean, I was 10 years old when that came out. So in the burgeoning years of HBO, History of the World Part 1 was on all the time. And so I could probably recite most of that movie from memory. Not that you'd want to. But when the guy goes, "You are nuts," NVTS nuts. It's such a stupid joke, but it makes me laugh every time.
See, those are the fun ones. Those are like the little God, that's dumb.
But it's like it's have perfect. A few jokes like that in a very long movie. So
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Yeah, that one didn't really hit me, and I saw that one later too. Like I didn't see that when I was a kid. So if I saw it when I was a kid, I probably would have liked it more. Mm-hmm. But Blazing Saddles though, and Young Frankenstein, two of the funniest movies of all time.
And Producers is great. The Producers is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
But by the time you got to Men in Tights, you're like,
man, see, and that's my 10-year-old movie where like it is broad and it is absolutely stupid, but it made me laugh a lot.
Did he do Princess Bride?
No, Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just watched that not that long ago.
Yeah, so do we. There's a little intersection here today, though, between Mel Brooks, since we're talking about him, because Peter Bogdanovich died. And I don't know if the guy hadn't made a movie in quite some time, but he was kind of in the early 70s, late 60s. He was part of this like new wave of Hollywood directors that were doing new things. He did Last Picture Show, and he did, he only made about 15 movies over the course of his entire career. But he and Mel Brooks worked on this movie called Paper Moon when Tatum O'Neal was like 10 years old. She was in this movie. And Peter Bogdanovich, he might be familiar to you, by the way, since a lot of people binge The Sopranos again, because he was Jennifer Melfi's therapist.
Yeah.
It was one of the only, I think he was one of those.
That's kind of what I know him from.
That's how you know him? Yeah.
I don't know the films that he made.
He was 82. They kept it pretty vague why he died, but I was reading it was because of Parkinson's. But he did What's Up, Doc? And he did a lot of these great early 70s movies. But again, he was also a director that would act every so often. Like Paul Mazursky would do that too. But I thought Bogdanovich was one of these guys that had a real, like, this is a guy, not getting Me Too'd, but he was a guy like back in the day that was like dating his his young actresses and things like that. He dated Dorothy Stratton, whose boyfriend ended up killing her. But he was 82. So all the people that were kind of paying tribute to him on social media, actors and people that he worked with, everybody was I haven't seen anybody yet going, this guy, put his hands on me when I was 12 or whatever. But yeah, I mean, as highly regarded as a director as he was, I didn't think he made 12 movies maybe. But he said that what worked for The Sopranos was that David Chase's willingness to like not cut away from somebody, to just sit on a shot and watch somebody listening to somebody else. And he's like, that's what made that show an amazing show. He was obviously coming at it from the perspective of somebody that was directing movies. And then Sidney Poitier died.
Director of Ghost Dad.
I thought Bill Cosby directed that movie.
I'm pretty sure Sidney
Poitier directed Ghost Dad.
I believe he did.
Wow. He was, of course, the first black actor to win a major Academy Award. He won Best Actor for which one? I mean, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, which is a late 60s interracial couple movie. And if you haven't seen it, that was a big deal at the time.
Guess Who was redone with Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher.
There you go, Ashton Kutcher.
And he was robbed of the Oscar.
Bernie Mac or Ashton Kutcher?
Ashton Kutcher. He should have won that year.
Zoe Saldana?
Zoe Saldana?
Yeah, she's hot. She's in that.
And he was in the Heat of the Night, which, they called me Mr. Tibbs. Over the break, by the way, I'll play a clip of this. Stern reran an old interview with Jamie Foxx where he was talking about meeting Sidney Poitier because when he played Ray Charles, when Jamie Foxx played Ray Charles, he was out there balling every night and just, acting the fool by his own admission. And he's like, I get a call from Oprah telling me to come over to her house because I'm ruining what's going to be an amazing career by all this nonsense. And he goes, and so I walk in, and there are all of these legendary black actors there, including Sidney Poitier, who sat him down and had a chat with him.
I said, hello, Mr. Poitier. I saw you one time. You were at a party. Do you remember that? I was like, I'm well enough. He says, I want to give you one thing. I want to give you responsibility. When I saw your performance, it made me grow 2 inches. So I break down. Everybody sits me down. It was actually Sidney Poitier's birthday. They made me understand the significance of it.
I think Sidney Poitier, because he was a very classy guy, I think when he said it made me grow 2 inches, I think he means up. I think he meant...
Okay. Like his heart or like the Grinch,
I think he meant it made him feel taller and stronger because Jamie Foxx had done such an amazing job playing Ray Charles.
Up.
But I understand.
But Sidney Poitier was like, I think, I don't know if he died there, but he was from the Bahamas. That's where he was born and grew up, I think.
I don't understand why they were upset with him, though. What? Because he was going out to clubs and
acting like an ass.
Because he also wasn't campaigning for an Oscar. Like, you've got to campaign. And he had done Any Given Sunday, but a lot of people still saw him as just a TV actor or a goof or
comedian,
comedian or a musician, and so I guess he wasn't. They were trying to tell him, look, you got to tell people that you want an Oscar for playing Ray Charles, because he was just out there having fun and whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I think they were trying to tell him when black actors and actresses are nominated for these things and then win them, it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
It might be at the time, you talk to any of those people. Halle Berry, pride of Cleveland, Ohio, I might add. If you ever hear Halle Berry talk about winning an Oscar, she has kind of some thinly veiled anger over the whole thing because it was a huge deal when she won, but she said it didn't change her career at all.
It didn't change Monique's.
Didn't change Cuba Gooding Jr.'s. Right, so she's like
supposed to.
Well, yeah. I mean, for a lot of other actors, your rate goes way up, and it might for a little while. But she's like,
you get different roles. You're not always typecast.
You think that's your entree into all kinds of different things. And Halle Berry, among those other people, will say, I didn't end up with a stack of scripts on my desk.
Yeah, I feel like Halle Berry was always the exception. When black actresses talk about like not getting like their desired wage or whatever for a movie, they always look at, look at Halle Berry, look at Denzel Washington. They won their Oscars and their lives changed. Like, they're multimillionaires. Like, they can sit back. They have sit back money where you don't have to take every role that comes to you.
But Halle Berry was already famous. She just hadn't done anything like Monsters Ball, I don't think. But she was already famous and making money. But to hear her tell it, she's like, it didn't change my career the way people think that it does.
And it's not like she went from doing Monsters Ball to doing a bunch of other very dramatic roles. I think one of her follow-up roles was Catwoman. It was
yeah, still, and she was doing the X-Men movies. Yeah, it was like,
you were in this really powerful movie, but we're still just going to cast you based on your looks.
I mean, Monsters Ball and Swordfish came out in the same year.
I remember
that was the movie that they were famous because you saw Halle Berry's boobies.
Oh, so good.
Because they paid her extra.
Both.
Perfect
you
nipples.
Saw them both.
Yeah,
Perfect nipples.
Those were both booby movies.
Yeah, I remember Swordfish because my aunt didn't realize that there was nudity in it. And I was watching, and she had, the little sun ray thing, and they were talking, and then she just puts it down, and she's like, ah! And I was like, my mom gonna be mad, but I saw him.
Your mom would be mad that I would think your mom would want to have exposed you to breasts as often as she could.
I don't know. I don't remember what age I was. I just rember seeing that movie.
If it came out in 2000, you're probably, 7 or 8 years old?
Okay, so then I was far too young. But then again, I also was rewinding that Monsters Ball scene, and I rewound
that
Unfaithful.
Monsters Ball scene was a lot different, too. Like, it's one thing to see just nude boobs, but the Monsters Ball scene was a full-on
this movie.
sex
Monsters
scene.
Ball was the R-rated Disney Pixar film that came out with...
It was like Monsters, Inc.
Right.
But it was like ballpoint
Monsters
pen.
Ball.
Ball.
In the stink is what it was.
Mom, why does she want to feel good? She said, her son just died. I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to go.
And Sean Combs was in that too, right? He was the husband?
Yeah, he was in jail.
Talk about Diddy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was the husband, I think, in that movie.
I do have a huge penis.
All right, fine. Again,
what does that have to do with anything?
I don't.
Right
why does he
now?
keep saying this? To
She wanted to feel good.
I didn't know it was your
and
penis.
she picked Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah.
Oh, that hairy chest. I was like, oh, he's just doing it for the regular guys, the blue collar guys.
I mean, I like when Halle Berry pops up and stuff. She was in the last John Wick movie, and she's in the Kingsman
now,
movies.
Now, hold on a second. I've never heard of this Monsters Ball
I can't believe
movie. Based on what I'm reading online, both their kids die in this movie?
Yeah, I think
that's why they come together.
I get it, but like how sad. It's like, and it's only what 2 hours long, hour and 52 minutes, and there's a lot of death, and her husband's murdered. Man,
yeah, it's a sad movie.
Yeah, very sad movie. So Sidney Poitier dies, and he was up there too. He's 94 years old, but he was the first black man to win an Oscar for Best Actor. He won for Lilies of the Field, which was 1963. And then he did a lot of other movies. But he was always like, he always had this air of sophistication around him. He was the top grossing lead actor in 1967. His movies made $165 million worldwide.
That's
and
so much then, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was paid $1 million.
In 1967?
In 1967, he made $1 million per film.
Wow.
Which was massive. Right. Unless you were Marlon Brando in the late 60s, you weren't making that kind of money. And he was a black guy. So that was a huge, huge deal. So then what that also gave him, and I think this is what other people who win awards want, is not just the money, but you can greenlight other movies. Mm-hmm. It kind of gives you that, you got some juice now.
Yeah, you get to pick what goes through and what doesn't.
Yeah.
$1 million in 1967 in 2022 would be $8,321,000.
There you go.
Wow.
It's those last $21 really that'll put you over the top too.
Wait, $8,321,796.41.
Can't wait till the
$6 put you over the top.
$96.
It's only a matter of time for the smear campaign. Let's see what chickens come out of his closet. Talk about he did this to me. It doesn't matter. They're still gonna. They gotta smear his legacy.
But wait. Let's not gloss over the chickens in his closet.
Yeah, chicken heads. They're gonna come out. Start clucking.
He did. Listen.
What? He's 6?
94.
That doesn't matter. They gotta smear him. They got to.
But what is this saying? The chickens in the closet.
I'm just saying there are some chicken heads running around here that are going to come out of nowhere, like Sidney Poitier and 19.
He did a bunch of movies with Bill Cosby in the 70s, right? They were very funny movies. They did Uptown Saturday Night, and they did a couple of sequels.
So.
Well, you're looking for any kind of stink whatsoever. And
I'm not.
People love to go back in time and apply today's rules to then, which is ridiculous, but people like to do that.
I give it 72 hours before they start smearing.
Skeletons in the closet getting
chicken
eaten
heads
up by the chickens.
Yeah. Sidney Poitier was also the first black director to he was the first black director to direct a movie that made more than $100 million. He directed Stir Crazy. And that movie was a massive hit. It was Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder.
Those guys worked well together.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Sidney Poitier, Peter Bogdanovich, and...
I wonder if that holds up.
Which one?
Stir
Crazy?
Stir Crazy in a long time.
There's blackface in it. Hey, let's pretend that we're both black, and that will get us in trouble. So... Is Harry Belafonte still alive? That's who a lot of people would confuse Sidney Poitier with, was Harry Belafonte. Yeah, he's still alive. He's 94 too. Let's post a guard at Harry Belafonte's house while we're thinking of it.
They don't even look the same.
And Sherry Belafonte's house too. I got to take a break. If you want to get a text for anything, 35192 to do that. AlanCoxShow.com for the video stuff, and we'll be back.